Thousands of people do not have visible house numbers. This is not just an inconvenience, it's a life and death situation, as it means that emergency services cannot always reach people in time. To create an awareness on this issue, the Satellife has been created and employs the use of creatively designed multicolored vinyls, which are stuck onto satellite dishes and mounted onto the top of houses. All right, sounds simple, but let's find out a little bit more about this. And in studio with us is Kean Hartnady from Grey Design's Head of Design. Good to have you. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Kean. It's Kean, right?
Kean, yeah.
Kean, not Kean. Kean. All right. Kean, talk to me a little bit more about Satellife, the company itself.
Well, it all started, I was actually having a discussion with my brother, who's actually a paramedic, and he's worked in the rural areas quite a lot. So we were talking about issues and so on and so forth. So he came back to me and said, well, you know what, we have problems finding house numbers and getting into the rural areas and and there's a lot of wastage of time trying to get to specific calls and patients. So I thought, well, hang on, you know, every house has a satellite.
Okay.
So, which is quite unique in the rural areas. So, and also there's a lot of houses on one area. So on the stand, there will be 4 or 5 houses.
Yeah.
So they'll block the main house number. And then when there were house numbers put in, they were all metallic, and those get taken for scrap metal. So, you know, when they do get paramedics to come by, there's never, you know, they can never find the house. Yeah. So we thought, well, hang on, let's utilize the satellite dish and actually use it as the numbering system. So, yeah, we've just done a pilot project at the moment, which is really working well. I took it back to my Chief Creative Officer, Fran Lucken, who's been really supportive and helpful, and same with my team at the moment to make this happen. So
fantastic.
It's really been great.
Does the vinyl, I mean, does it affect the satellite signal at all?
No, you know, the only thing that would affect the satellite dish is if it's metallic, or has a reflective surface that will reduce the sort of signal coming in. So we are working on a second phase, which is going to be more of a commercial type phase and an easier, cheaper installation and a longer lasting one, which will be easier to install and quicker to install. Yeah. So we're busy working at the moment, and yeah, so that should work better.
What is the current cost now?
I'm not actually, I must admit, I'm not actually quite sure about the costs, but I think, you know, the time is more the issue at the moment.
Yeah.
So, you know, you need to get, when there's an installer putting up a satellite dish, you need an applicator. It takes 10 to 15 minutes per dish, and it's really too long to do that. So what we want to try and do is get it down to about 5 minutes where you're able to quickly apply and quickly put up the dish.
Yeah. Well, I mean, will there be some kind of system that emergency teams will be able to use to locate these houses now, especially now that obviously the numbers are more visible, but to get to them, to find them?
I think, you know, we've tried to get it so they can view it from quite a distance. And, you know, most of these paramedics do know the areas that they tend to work in a little bit more. And it's one thing finding the street, but the biggest problem is finding the house number, because they're the houses are so close to each other that it can be very difficult to find these locations.
What about natural elements? I mean, wind, rain, these crazy thunderstorms that we have here. How durable are they? I mean, do they withstand these kind of elements?
Yeah, look, that's why we're working on another system which should last a hell of a lot longer than that. This system will probably only last a year, which we will replace next year because of the we want to keep it going. So the new system will be a hell of a lot longer lasting. Yeah. And more permanent.
I believe you've chosen Kliptown as the pilot project. Why specifically Kliptown?
I think there's also a lot of heritage. There's a lot of you know, there's a reason why they don't have house numbers from the apartheid times, but now we want to replace that because we're the new South Africa, and I think there's a lot of cultural history there, and I think it's a great place to start, and hopefully we can take this nationwide.
What about the residents in Kliptown? What have they had to say? I mean, how have they taken to this?
They've actually, you know, we went back the other day to go and just have a look and make sure everything was all right, and there was just people kept coming and saying, look, when are you doing our house? When are you doing our house? And it's a nice nice feedback, and it's nice that these.
Are you working? Is the idea to actually work with the local municipality to roll it out? Because obviously the residents, I suppose, it's a cash-strapped places that you're wanting to go into, your rural areas where perhaps they don't have that disposable income to pay for these vinyl stickers. Is it something that you're hoping to get into business deals with the municipalities to roll it out?
Yes, the end result would be nice to have everybody involved. I think whether you're a corporate, you're a company, or municipalities, we would like to have their interest put in there, because I think it is a big it's a small change but a big difference it'll make. So I think by doing this, it will make a huge change to the community. So. Yeah.
Any approaches as yet? Anyone showing some interest from elsewhere in the country, outside of Kliptown?
We're in chats with a company at the moment, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think the end result would be, we're trying to actually change a mindset more than we're actually trying to sell a product or anything. Yeah. We don't want to do that. We want to change a mindset and say, well, everyone deserves a house number. So I think there will be. I just want to change the community. I think that's what we believe is design can change the world, and that's where we've.
And a simple idea like a vinyl sticker on your satellite that everyone has, and it's much easier to see, in reality, except for if it's facing upwards. And you can't see the number. Talk to me about that. Unless you're a helicopter and you're in an ambulance that flies, how are you going to see those numbers right at the top of the house?
Well, I think generally your house numbers are going to be more sort of aiming parallel to the ground, not sort of facing up. Those are more more your commercial type satellite dishes. So yeah, we also we're busy trying to work out all the issues that possibly could be, but I think either way, at least gives you an idea of where those house numbers are.
Absolutely, at least it's a better clue than what there is there currently. Exactly. Because at the moment to try find those numbers, it's almost an impossibility.
Absolutely.
Listen, it's a great idea, and thanks for talking to us. But keep us updated. Great. See how it goes. It's innovation. It's innovative. It's what we need. We need these great ideas. Kean Hartnady is Kean. I keep calling you Kean.
No, it's okay.
Kean, I'm sorry. Kean Hartnady, Grey Design's head of design, talking to us about these new vinyl stickers that they're trying to get going in particularly the rural areas where sometimes house numbers are not there, and it turns into an absolute disaster if there is an emergency at that particular house that has a number but you can't find it. So yeah, quite an interesting one. Let's take a break. We'll have more for you after this, if we're going to talk theatre. Looking forward to that conversation.